It's a great day for hockey here in beautiful Bloomington, Minnesota. My name's Eric Zamora with the play-by-play. Patrick Lilia, our camera operator, engineer, and producer for this Youth Hockey Hub broadcast of the 2019 North American Hockey Showcase. We've got Team North versus Team USA. We'll bring for you the starting lineups. Lucas Courtney gets the start in between the pipes for Team USA. Braden Hart and Jimmy Egan. His defensemen, wings Philip Zizka and Trey Knoll with Matthew Wallace. Centering that top line, Team USA in navy uniforms, white numerals and names, and a red trim going from left to right. The face-off, Wallace matching up with Kwame of Team North. And it will be played back, and Team USA will take control north, having Kwame center the top line between Ryder Rivard and Oakton Hansen, snapping a shot wide of the mark. Zadie Penner and Phoenix Cahill, the defenseman for Team North, with Paul Soda out of Grafton, North Dakota. In between the pipes. And apologize, had an opportunity to speak with the coaching staff from North. Broadcasted their 10-2 victory over North America yesterday. Didn't have someone listed, and we've got a penalty early on Team USA. A couple of initial contacts let go, but it will be Jack Wheaton out of Plymouth, Michigan, headed to the box, and Team North will take the power play opportunity here, just a minute, 4 seconds into action, with an opportunity to strike early on the man advantage. I had noted that I thought I saw the nameplate of Cahill, but didn't have a 14 listed on my roster. So didn't know the first name of the player, but Phoenix Cahill, a defenseman who has an assist so far in the tournament. And we'll have a delayed offside. That'll stop the clock here with 13:37 remaining in our opening period. North comes in with a perfect 3-0 record. The only team that has picked up all 3 points in every matchup to this point of the tournament. We do have another undefeated team over in the other bracket in Manitoba. However, one of their victories coming in overtime. So they, to this point, have 11 of a possible 12 points. This is the only game of the day 4 Team USA, most teams playing twice. Right pad save by the netminder, and then sprawling to pick that up. USA gets a big clearance up to the line, but not out. USA still with it. They'll rattle it around the boards, and they'll gladly settle for the icing call that will bring the puck back into their own end with 33 seconds remaining on the man advantage, with Wheaton in the box. And excuse me, misspoke there. It was Great Plains that has a record of 3 wins and an overtime win. Manitoba was on the losing end of that decision. So they have 10 out of a possible 12 points. Great Plains with 11 both with more points than this undefeated USA squad. But again, USA coming in with a game in hand. North checks into this contest with a 2-1 record. They fell to South in the first matchup, but defeated New England and North America. First game of the day for either side. North has one more matchup today. They'll take on Midwest on a Rink 1 at 7:45. They'll close out pool play against Minnesota at 5:45 tomorrow. USA's remaining opponents, North America, who they'll take on at Mariucci tomorrow morning at 8 a.m., home of the University of Minnesota Golden Gophers men's hockey team. And then they'll take on New England at 7:30. All of those games can be seen right here on youthhockeyhub.com. Knockdown out front. The teams play pitch and catch. They'll slide it up to the point. Shot through traffic, and it's in. Taking the shot for USA was Carter Bakeberg. Trey Knoll out front. Not sure if they'll credit him with the goal or say it was Bakeberg's cleanly. But either way, it reaches Twine with authority. 3:49 time of the goal. And if that was a deflection, doing a fantastic job of making sure to not take anything off the shot, because that hit the netting with a resounding force.
Scoring for Team USA at 11-11 in the first, number 51.
And they will credit it to Knoll.
Number 5, Carter Bakeberg, and number 44, Zach Wheaton.
So Wheaton, fresh out of the box, feeds it over to Bakeberg. Bakeberg with the shot on target, and Knoll redeflects it home. 10:37 left to go here in our first period. USA on top, 1-0. North in those white uniforms, red numerals, gray trim, going from right to left. And victimized again, this time in the slot. And the shot coming from Wallace. He puts Team USA on top, 2-0. For Wallace, that is his 4th goal, 7th point. In just shortly into the 4th game of the tournament. USA gets a clearance and carries it out. Offside at the line. Braden Hart picking up the lone assist, but offside at the line as it's brought over by Carson Summers. USA attacking the east net here in the first period. Going from left to right on your screen. Dancing with it is Ander Rala. Tapped over and quickly answering back, North America with the goal. Rala with the shot that would leave a rebound, and not to take anything away from Metcalf, but was set up in tight. Duncan Metcalf, all he had to do was get wood on it. Did have to drop down to one knee, but easy enough for the nimble young man. 6:25. Time of the goal. It's an even strength tally and cuts
For Team North at 9:35 in the first.
USA's lead in half.
Assisted by number 8, Copper Kalkbrenner. Second assist to Andrew Rajala.
And they're actually going to credit Cooper Kalkbrenner out of Duluth, Minnesota with the primary assist. And Ander Ralla with the secondary. I would have thought that those two would have flipped, with Ralla having the primary. But either way, still goes down as an apple for each. Metcalf, the son of Nate Metcalf. And former Minnesota State Mankato player, although I believe they were MSUM at the time. Switching over from right to left, those back in the good old WCHA days, where he played against Jeff Panzer, the head coach of this North squad and former opponent of the University of North Dakota, fighting Sioux at the time, fighting Hawks, as it is now, who currently reside in the NCHC. Penner finds a man in the slot. Great setup. Tic-tac-toe passing play. Wraparound attempt. Won't go. And desperately trying to keep it alive. Unable to was, yes, Tebow. They'll fire a shot on, and the netminder holds on with the glove and gets the whistle just 1 second away from the halfway point of this first period. 7:31 remaining in the frame. Played back to the point. North on the attack, have responded well, falling down to the last unblemished record of the tournament. And the only team on this side of the conference who is yet to take a loss. Not only is everyone else taking a loss, but in regulation, Rolla upended. These teams representing the Jefferson Conference, the other half in the Kennedy Conference. Two conferences named for the two high schools here in Bloomington, Minnesota. To the point, first effort fanned on, then using a pitching wedge, able to get over the players coming in to defend, and drawing a penalty there is Wheaton. I believe the guilty party is Oakton Hansen. Snapping a shot, and with 6 minutes, 10 seconds to go in our opening frame, we'll have USA with a power play in just a matter of moments. Cross-checking the call. And it goes against Cahill. Phoenix Cahill in the box for another minute 53 seconds. His squad trailing 2-1. A puck played with a high stick forces the draw all the way down in the offensive zone of the team on the power play, trying to get something going short-handed. North now looking to defend. High shot. It creates a bouncing puck and a rebound. Sent up, not out. Held in is dropping down to one knee. Bakeberg, who's already got an assist in this one. They slide it over, and it doesn't get any prettier than that. In tight. Quentin Videpo finishes it off. It's his first of the tournament. Comes at the 9-minute, 37-second mark. And the two teams off to the races offensively. 3-1 with 4 goals being scored in not quite yet 10 minutes. Across the line is Jace Panzer, tracking down the rebound, left by Courtney, the goaltender, was Hunter Rudolph.
Scoring for Team USA at 5:23 in the first, number 8, Quentin Bejico, assisted by number 42, Matthew Wallace, and second assist to number 27, Carson Summers.
So Wallace with the primary assist, Summers with the second assist. Spinning onside. They'll make the handoff. Shot through traffic, doesn't get through. Blocked down by a sweater. At the point and stripped of it for a moment was Egan, follows up and keeps it moving eastbound. Trey Knoll with it behind the goal line. Turns, feeds it over. Egan now with it. Pressured by Dallas Jackson, yet still able to advance the puck. Egan still working. Upended by Jackson. And then some jousting there with the Twigs. A collision with Rudolph and Egan. Egan will head off for a change. Glove save by the netminder, who was fighting to make sure if that had come out, it wouldn't have trickled into the crease or kept going behind him, but instead swatting at it like the nuisance of a shot that it was. 3:36 left to go. Ralla wins the draw. Turning and immediately met with resistance was Cahill. Ralla steps up, toe drag, fires. They poke at the rebound. It's still loose, and then the whistle blown as the official blows the play dead just before Ralla fires it into the side of the net. So no opportunity for Ralla there. He didn't shoot late, shot it right as the whistle was being blown. 3:02 left in our first. We will play 3 15-minute periods, and should we need it, the overtime format is a 5-minute 3-on-3 followed by a shootout. And to this point, overtime games in this tournament have been few and far between. The only that we've had, Great Plains and Manitoba needing extra time. That game taking place at Mariucci on Tuesday. Great Plains victorious by a final of 7-6 into the offensive zone. a chip and chase. Team USA looking to defend and will. And we'll have an interference call going against Team USA. That will allow North to go on the man advantage should the entirety of the penalty be served. There will only be a 9-second difference between Team USA getting to full strength and the period coming to an end. However, putting the cart before the horse there. And should point out, it's jammed, and the official signals goal. It looks like North's Jace Panzer is going to get credit for this power play tally. It comes at the 13-minute, 11-second mark. So Team USA's Quinton Videpo gets out of the box early, and certainly not what he was hoping for. North, for the second time in the contest, score to make it a one-goal affair. Into the offensive zone goes Hunter Rudolph, loses the handle. As Braden Hart was there to help break it up. Sent ahead. And a toe drag. Get it back to Wallace. Wallace in the slot. Backed up by Knoll. Knoll goes for the wraparound attempt. And sliding over to his right. Suda comes up with the stop and the whistle with 72 seconds left to go in our opening frame. So it was indeed Panzer who gets the goal. That's his second goal, 6th point in his 4th game action here. Backhand effort. Kicked out and below the goal line. The goaltender's not able to hold on to the puck, and Ralla showing some skill there and in a tough spot. If he's not precise there and turns it over, that could be a tough spot to put his team in, but able to bank a pass off the back of the cage to himself. Stripped away. Egan tried to bring it in. Was stripped from him. Knocked down by the glove of the netminder. Sitting there for a moment. Didn't stay there long. This one will slowly roll towards the circle. And the horn will sound. USA getting goals from Knoll, Wallace, and Videpo. North responding with goals out of Metcalf and Panzer. And we've got a 3-2 score. We'll be back in 60 seconds with the start of our second period. You're watching the 2019 North American Hockey Showcase on Youth Hockey Hub. face-off will be controlled by North. Penner advances it into the offensive zone. Ralla with it, stripped of it, and it's Hart looking for an evacuation plan. Runs into a ton of resistance up the right wing boards. They'll switch and exit the opposite side. Collision there, and Cooper Depute ends up knocking down his opponent. I think it's a good no call. They'll counter in North, coming from right to left. And that's played into the corner by Courtney. It's the first time I had an opportunity to see these two goaltenders in action. Calling a previous game for USA. In between the pipes was Andrew McLeod. And coming in and scoring for Team USA, Braden Hart. Hart looking over his right shoulder back at a player coming in. That's one of those goals where the player along with him won't end up getting credit on the score sheet, but it changes the entirety of that setup if he's not there. Minute 17, time of the goal. But with another player there, it keeps the goaltender honest, as he's got to account for covering the whole of the net. Could have cheated a little bit more.
Scoring for Team USA at a time of 13:43 in the second, number 11, Braden Hart, assisted by number 5,
Come out
Baker.
a little bit more, and worried just about the shooter. Back into the offensive zone. USA right back at it. Just one lone assist being handed out there. Carter Bakeberg out of Otsego, Minnesota. He's got 6 points, all assists so far in this tournament. USA, for the third time in the contest, on top by 2. Led 2-0, led 3-1. Now have doubled up North to this point by a score of 4-2. Summers, left-handed shot, is met with a ton of pressure, and the nuisances in the back checkers able to pry the puck loose and play it all the way down. USA touched on by Knoll. Knoll spins, now has options, tries to track it down. North coming up with a steal and a bad break for Team North. Looked like they're going to get a clearance. Backhand shot offered up by Wheaton, and tall to the task was Paul Suda, as the North Dakota native got low, held on. Coming in from a tight angle, centering pass, and it was swept away by the defense. Got a player slow to get up, but good to see that he's going to, on his own accord, hobbling over the goaltender. Comes up with a coverage with the glove. Going hard into the boards was Jimmy Egan out of Stillwater, Minnesota. But looks like he'll be all right. North tracks down the loose puck. Some great vision shown there. Thrown ahead. Here's Ziska. Ziska missing just wide as outstretched was Suda. And Ziska, I forgot, because he's listed in the program as number 1, but actually wears 0-1. So for a while was looking for a number that didn't exist, like 61 or 81. Ziska comes upstairs and goes backhand just under the crossbar. Then Cox's stick as he looks ready to unleash another barrel. 5-2. USA on top. This goal comes at the 4-minute, 31-second mark. Ziska out of Menominee Falls, Wisconsin, with his first point of the day, 8th of the tournament. And Wallace has had a whale of a start here. We've still got 2.5 minutes before we reach the halfway point of this contest. Wallace already with a 3-point afternoon. Scoring and getting the primary assist on the, scoring the second goal, getting the primary assist on the third goal. A power play tally, that last one. And then getting the lone assist on a goal moments ago from Ziska. Stripped away. Panzer starts a breakout going the other end. Panzer steered to the corner. Looking for a centering pass was Rudolph. Now Team USA. Important that they were able to get that deep as their squad was in need of a change. And here in the second period, the toughest period to make that exchange. They go off the glass, held in, shot through traffic, and quickly getting it out was Rudolph. Rudolph didn't realize he had as much time as he did, but it works out as North was able to get back to it first. Now ahead, Videpo flips that on, and the netminder, Suda, makes it look easy. 8:53 remaining in our second period. Over on Rink 1, Pacific is taking on Great Lakes right now. And that will also be the site of the next game upcoming, North America versus South. This game will end action here today. And the last pool play game here on Rink 3. But we will have action over on Rink 2 starting at 5 o'clock. It's Minnesota versus New England. North behind their own cage, disrupted for a moment. And more than just a moment, it creates a turnover. Here's Wheaton firing through traffic. And a body of a North player knocks that down. Bringing it into the offensive zone, James Larson. Larson stood up. And Oakton Hansen following it up. They're unable to keep the zone, however. With it is Egan. Slamming on the brakes at the line is Wallace. Make sure the play is onside. Here's Ziska. Ziska on the backhand, a drive, kicked out. We've reached the halfway point of the contest. Hart gives it to Ziska, then starts to open himself up, and Rolla goes 360, turning and keeps finding adversaries. Finally used patience and was able to get it out to neutral ice. Team USA brings it back in. We're going to have a penalty upcoming. Hooking will be the call. I think there's a couple of different ways you could have gone there. 7:06 left to go in period number 2. So far in the tournament, USA has defeated Minnesota 9-1, South 4-1, and Midwest by a score of 9-2. North fell to South 8-4 in the opening game, but rebounded with a 3-1 victory over New England and knocked off North America yesterday 10-2 over on Rink 1. Kicking it up and nearly out. But then it was carried a little bit of a toe drag and just a smidge too much. It will stop action with 6:43 remaining in our second period. Into the offensive zone, a 2-on-1. And opening himself up was Levi Harper. Was trying to go with his left shoulder pointed at the net. Had to turn in instead. Was facing goaltender square on. But the play made by Suda. Backhanded over. Now another opportunity. Harper put everything he had into that on the backhand effort. A clapper from just the outskirts of the right circle. Now the other way. Rolla in for North. Firing. And both Rolla and Cooper Kalkbrenner checking to see if a rebound was present. Nothing given up by the netminder Lucas Courtney, as his squad still 45 seconds away from killing off the penalty assessed to Matthew Wallace. Panzer fires and scores. Getting a piece of it was Courtney, but not enough to keep it from trickling through. Short side and then up into Twine. There were still 30 seconds left on the man advantage, but North won't need the time. 9 minutes, 25 seconds. Left in period number 2. And Panzer with the most recent 2 goals for North. They elevate the shot. Hunter Rudolph can't get that one to go. Jackson picks up the lone assist from the side of the cage, North. Trying to tap it through, then they go behind the cage. And then a centering pass through the crease and everybody. Here's Team USA onside. Videpo, rising shot. It causes Suda to pop up on his tiptoes on his skates. Caught it around the chest collarbone area, and by caught it I mean went into it, wasn't able to hold on, but then able to cover up and freeze the puck. Draw comes to his right. And again, we see when players feel that there's a call missed, they decide that's their time to get a little bit more physical. Kwame floats a shot up and diving over to his left. The netminder comes up with a stoppage and preserves the 2-goal lead for Team USA. In tight, Courtney tested and stands tall. Here's Wallace, backhand shot, rising up and over the crossbar. Ziska has Wallace with him. Ziska waits, fires, and scores. It's the second of the contest, second of the period for the Menominee Falls native. This one coming at the 11:08 mark and puts USA on top by 3 once again. They lead 6-3. Fighting off contact was Kalkbrenner. Into the corner it goes. He gets spun around. Ralla looks to feed it to the point. Now it's Ziska. Ziska's got a man with him and elects to fire himself. Knoll was coming in from the right side. Wallace now comes away with the steal at neutral ice. Back in with speed. Lets one go. Netminder comes up with a stop and then holds on with the glove. 3:16 left to go in period number 2. Again, we'll have a long break as we have an ice resurfacing in between periods 2 and 3. And Wheaton forces that out, feeds it over. With it is Harper. Tries to thread the needle. It's broken up. And a nice job there by Rudolph. Looked like he was first going to go into the offensive zone, then looked like he was going to lose an edge, but able to spin around and keep the skate on the line and onside. Drive by Cahill. A bouncing puck. Panzer from his knees tries a backhanded pass. Great exit there by Wheaton. And a big kick save by the netminder. Rudolph gets it ahead, spun around and looking to exit the zone. We're going to have a penalty behind the play, elbowing the call. With a minute 43 to go, USA on the penalty kill, on top by 3, looking to preserve that lead. The guilty party for Team USA, Cooper Zinda out of Neenah, Wisconsin. Wrapped up along the boards, and then Hart sends it around the roulette wheel. Up for Ziska. Ziska thought about playing it over with a backhand pass. Instead, keeps it in, and I like the decision there. A ton of white jerseys in between you and the net. Why risk having a shot blocked? Instead, they just dump it deep. Coming into the zone, Kalkbrenner slams on the brakes And it's taken away as Braden Hart comes up with the plate. Here's Ralla. Ralla has Ziska moving in. Ziska with the steal. Tries to cut against the grain and has it knocked away. Kalkbrenner into the zone once again, then ties up his man, Wallace. Able to come up with the steal and now heads off for a change. 30 seconds left in the period, 47 left to go on the man advantage. So should North not convert here, they will have an abbreviated power play to start period number 3. Down to 7 seconds. North tries to wrap around attempt. They keep plugging away at it. And somehow the netminder, Courtney, able to hold strong on that post. 0.7 of a second remain in the period. And we will have a face-off to the left of the netminder. Puck is dropped, and that will sound it. As it looks like the official may have taken a stick to the hand as the two were fighting for the face-off that was taken with less than a second remaining. We will take a time out. We'll come back with the start of the third period. USA on top of North, 6-3. You're watching the 2019 North American Hockey Showcase on Youth Hockey Hub. 17 seconds left on the man advantage for Team North. It'll be played behind their goal line, and they'll track it down. 15 minutes to start this third period. North with an odd man advantage. Coming in is Rudolph. Floats a pass over, firing, and a big pad save by the netminder as Lucas Courtney slides over and makes a stop at the other end. Chasen Baseflute lets that one go. It's wide of the cage, icing the call. 14:30 left in regulation. And Team USA back at full strength. And they lead this one 6-3. Victorious over Minnesota 9-1, 4-1 over South. And they defeated Midwest by a score of 9-2. Cooper Zinda slides it over from right to left. And Carter Blakeberg trying to move it up the line. Levi Harper trying to prevent that from going into the defensive zone. North able to get it there. Kwame trying to find an outlet. Does find Oakton Hansen. High off the glass. Brought down by North's Yes Tebow. And swiping at it from the ice is Cade Miller out of Woodruff, Wisconsin. Another body takes a spill. Minute and a half gone by here in a scoreless third period. 6-3. USA leading, trying to remain perfect in the tournament. They got 3 goals in each of the first 2 periods. As for North, scoring 1 in the first, 2 in the second. Baseflute comes up with a stop at the left post. And they decide to go for a change. And Ralla on the backhand in relief nearly deposits that one into the back of the net. Slamming on the brakes is Panzer. Tries to feed it up for Ralla. And Team USA floats one along. Giving chase is Wheaton. As soon as he came off the bench, had his player targeted from the blind side. And then with a simple stick lift, able to get that through. Snapping a shot, bring it back over Ziska. Puts it in the back of the net for the hat trick goal. Jimmy Egan will get the assist. And with 12:01 left to go in period number 3. It will be a 7-3 lead. And in relief for Team USA is Andrew McLeod, now in for Lucas Courtney. Hooking the penalty called here with 11:52 left in regulation. I believe this is Jackson. It is indeed called for the infraction. Face-off taken in the offensive zone for Team USA, but here's Panzer in shorthanded, tries to feed it across, broken up. USA will take it and turn it up ice. Summers with the breakout play. Videpo had that one stripped away. Hunter Rudolph coming back and helping break it up.
Number 1, Philip Ziska, assisted by number 66, Jimmy Egan, and number 44, Jack Wheaton.
So in tight, Summers tries the backhanded shot, can't get that one to go. So Ziska's goal comes off of the shot from Egan. The lefty then pulls it over to his forehand and drops it in. The secondary assist, it was Jack Wheaton who fed the point and got it back to Egan out of Stillwater, Minnesota. That is his first point of the contest, third here in the fourth game for Team USA. They'll get it to the point, Bakeberg, and it's gloved at by Grunberg. Halfway through the power play attempt, and the official with a late signal, but it does go. 4 minutes, 15 seconds into the period. A wraparound attempt, and the netminder, Basefelug, on top of it, preventing the official from seeing initially where the puck was, but it had crossed the goal line. And so now we will reach running time as long as this score remains the same in the third period with a differential of 5 or more. There are no stoppages unless it's a timeout or the officials call a timeout for something such as an injury, a dispute, something that they need to explain. But for your run-of-the-mill whistles, the clock will continue to roll, and Team USA has reached running time in all but one of their 4 games to this point. They defeated South by a score of 4-1. Obviously, that never getting out of a 4-goal or less differential. North able to play it down the length of the ice, and the officials will say play on, as they felt that Team USA could have played that. Ralla tries to advance it, swinging it around was Wheaton. Into the offensive zone, looking for Ziska in the slot, and we will have a whistle. Tripping will be the call with 8:55 left to go in period number 3. And it will be Ander Ralla headed to the box. Easy to spot, the only player on the North squad with a green helmet out of Coleraine, Minnesota. This is played down the length of the ice. Icing will be called. Again, the clock will continue to run. And so North will be backed up into their own end. In essence, the icing still whistled. We'll bring it back down, but it's a way to make it a little bit easier to kill off penalties, is obviously if you ice the puck in this situation when you're a man down, it eats up the time the other team has on the man advantage. This is flipped ahead for Ziska. Ziska gets tangled up in the far side. Elevating the shot up and over the glass, and it actually goes through the netting and out the backside. Ziska scoring goals 5, 6, and 7 for USA. However, not a natural hat trick, as in between goals 5 and 6 for USA. North answering Panzer with his second of 2 goals here in the contest. Behind the cage, North looking for an outlet, trying to feed it out front. Kwame. It's still loose in the crease, and loose no longer. McLeod holds on and gets the stoppage. 6:50 left to go in period number 3. Again, for North, they've got matchups against Midwest remaining. That's at 7:45 tonight over on Rink 1. And then they'll take on Minnesota tomorrow, 5:45 on Rink 2. As for USA, they're done for today after this one. They'll start out bright and early, 8 a.m. tomorrow morning at Mariucci, and then take on New England tomorrow over on Rink 2. That taking place nearly 12 hours later, 7:30 start time. We're back to 5-on-5 as North is killed off the penalty. They try to go upstairs on the netminder. Base fluke out of East Grand Forks, Minnesota, able to catch that one into his chest logo and then hold on for the freeze. And 5:45 remain here in period number 3. Draw will come to the blocker side of Baseflug. He'll now switch over to the left side as the puck skirts through there. Bakeberg with the offering and chopping at it, one hand on the stick. They try to sweep it in with some speed. North coming up, and we've got a penalty on the way, a delayed call against Team USA. Not able to touch up yet. They finally do, and interference is the infraction. And we've got there was a momentary stoppage as the athletic trainer coming across the ice to check on a player. 4:47 left here in regulation. Ralla will take the draw to the goalkeeper's right. Face-off controlled by USA. Snapping a shot on. It was offered up from the point. Cale Grunberg gets it on the face-off win. Ralla calling for it. Knocking it down was Bakeberg off the shoulder. Ralla creates some separation, makes a man miss. Grunberg through heavy traffic, but off the mark. Kalkbrenner plays it deep, and Team USA will come away with it. Just dipping below the glass and off the half wall. Snapped on, and a glove save by the netminder as Grunberg puts that one on. We're at the halfway point and beyond here in this penalty that's been assessed to Jack Wheaton. Wheaton out of Plymouth, Michigan. Came into this one leading his squad in both goals with 6 and points with 8. Still stuck at 6 goals, but reached double digits with a couple of assists. But Philip Ziska has caught him in both of those categories with a hat trick, as they now have identical stat lines of 6 and 4 for 10. Stripped away, Team USA. Short-handed, but short-handed no longer, as they're now back at full strength. Picked up by Wheaton. Wheaton upended ever so slightly, not enough to get a call. Hunter Rudolph with the pressure. Panzer with the outlet pass. And the save made by the netminder, offering that up, was Phoenix Cahill. gloved by the goaltender. Thought about dropping it there and leaving it, but seeing the pressure of the navy blue jerseys converging in on the side of the cage, thinks better of it and decides better safe than sorry, holds on with 2 minutes to go. It'll be about a minute 40 remaining when the puck is dropped. Harper on the draw, won by USA. Tangled up in the skates of Depute, a Wisconsin native out of Arbor Vitae. Stolen away, and USA quickly gets an exit. Brought back in by North. Brought in by Grunberg. He loses the handle, but Kalkbrenner is there. Johnny on the spot as the backup. Flipped up now. Harper stays with it. And this is poked away and perhaps an opportunity for a breakaway. Coming in, Depute is able to score with 50 seconds remaining here in period number 3. And it gives USA a 9-3 lead. Harper on the draw, one, Depute with a quick touch. Then laying down on the tracks there, Cade Meyer. I can understand the mispronunciation of the last name. I'm surprised they weren't able to get Cooper right. We're down to 10 seconds left, which allows the USA fans to have a little bit of a chuckle. Shot from the top of the right circle into the corner. 3, 2, 1, and the horn will sound with Team USA picking up 3 goals in each of the 3 periods. And coming in relief, Andrew McLouth out of Battle Creek, Michigan, is able to keep North off the score sheet in the 3rd period. And we'll go ahead and send it down ice level. In just a matter of moments, we will have the Youth Hockey Hub Player of the Game post-game interview coming your way. Again, a final. Team USA improves to 4-0 in tournament play. All 4 wins in regulation, so they sit atop the standings with 12 points out of 12 possible. For North, they fall to 2-2 on the tournament. Again, my name's Eric Zamora. Patrick Lilia, our camera operator, engineer, and producer. And we thank you again for tuning in. We'll get the post-game interview coming your way, presented by Youth Hockey Hub.